श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्री गौर राधा माधव की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री गोपी गीत की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद हरि बोल। So, good afternoon to all of you. Thanks so much for your presence there. Today we are continuing with our series of GOPI GITA. We are today in our 13th meeting. We will be discussing verse number 11 of this GOPI GITA. But first of all, of course, let's make a brief summary of yesterday's talk, where we will be studying verse number 10. We have to bear in mind that starting from yesterday till today and next class, we will be studying 3 verses that had to do with a particular commentary of Jiva Goswami. Remember, verse number 9 was Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam, the gopis singing the virtue of Harikatha. So according to Jiva Goswami's commentary, Krishna may say to them, well, so my Harikatha is so virtuous that you can just remain happy with my Harikatha. So the gopis, in the next 3 verses, 10, 11, and 12, yesterday, today, and next Monday, they will explain why it's not enough for them just to survive, just to be happy by speaking here in Harikatha, and that the fault, if you will, lies on Krishna. Because in the Purva Rag, in the previous, in the eagerness of meeting each other, Krishna and the gopis, in the anticipation for the falling in love period, if you will, Krishna expressed himself to the gopis in certain ways that naturally they became totally captivated and attracted and willing to reciprocate to Krishna, so that Harikatha is no longer enough, if you will, because of different symptoms that Krishna exhibited to them. So yesterday in verse 10, the gopis start to enumerate this by first of all mentioning 4 types of udipanas or stimulants for their love towards Krishna. So they say, Prasitam priya prema vikshanam viharanam chate dhyana mangalam rahasi sambido jaharidis prisa kuhakano mana kshovayanti. Your smiles, first of all, your sweet, loving glances, the intimate pastimes, and confidential talks we enjoy with you. These 4 all are auspicious to meditate upon, and they touch our heart. Yad hridis prisha. But at the same time, all deceiver, kuhaka, kshovayantihi, and all these very much agitate our hearts, our minds. So again, there is a connection with the previous verse, with the verse number 9, when Harikatha was, the glories of Harikatha were presented by, as you remember, according to the left wing gopis, they were presenting how Harikatha is actually a source of death and a source of affliction if spoken in Krishna's absence, if heard in Krishna's absence. With Krishna, that's a source of amrit, of immortality, but without him, it's mrit, it's death. So gopis were saying Harikatha is painful in separation. So why? In this verse, in this 10th verse, they start to answer that. Kuhaka, you deceiver, you say something, you do other thing, you promise something, and we are now bereft of your darshan. So here to explain why Harikatha is not enough and in separation is killing them, because of their impressions they received from Krishna when being together with him through his glances, smile, and so on. So we explained how Krishna, in this Purva Rag period, before officially meeting the gopis and mutually acknowledging their love for each other, Krishna started to create this environment. When he went to take bath in the morning, actually that was an excuse to meet the gopis. When he goes out with friends and cows, apart from having love in exchange for them, he's using a part of that as an excuse to have the darshan of the gopis and organize his sneaking out from his house, sneaking away from his house to finally meet gopis and Radha in the midst of the day, and so on. So 4 Udipanas are mentioned here, as we say, prahasitam, which means a special type of smile, a very eminent smile. As we explained, smile is never leaving Krishna. But in this particular case, his smile was transmitting a particular emotional content and intention to the gopis. So they perfectly understood the meaning of those unspoken words. So prahasitam priya, loving smile, prema bhikshanam, apart from affectionate smile, glancing with lots of prem. And also not the glancing, as we say, that were like arrows, cupid arrows imparting upon the gopis. But different gestures, like when Krishna was with his friends, before officially meeting the gopis and embracing his friends, but looking at the gopis in a particular way, like implying, I like to embrace you like this, with in another hand having a lotus, twirling the lotus, like mentioning my head is spinning, my mind is spinning like this lotus in my desire to meet with you. I'm dying of separation. So conveying all these messages in direct speech. Again, romantic affair has a particular language. Third Udipana mentioned in this 10th verse was Biharanam, which means basically pastimes. Pastime, but Bihar also, as we say, means a special kind of theft. Hara means haranam, to steal. Gopi Vastra Harana Lila, the theft of the clothes of the gopis, you know that Lila. And Bihara, B means special type, Vishesh Haranam. So special kind of theft, not pocket, not money, but heart. And also this Vihara means could mean to walk with friends or to walk with a lady. So also this Viharanam pastimes will mean when Krishna was walking with his friends in Purvarag before meeting the gopis, or after the Purvarag when Krishna meets the gopis walking with the lady, when he was walking with the gopis before this moment, in the beginning of the Rasa Leela and so on. And the 4th Udipana, yesterday we mentioned, was Rahasi Sambhida, which means secret talks, intimate, confidential conversations, also implying joking, intimacy, informality, like in the beginning of Rasa Leela, when Krishna spoke with the gopis, saying something but implying something else in a very sweet, charming way. So all these conversations are so deeply embedded in the gopis' minds that they cannot forget that at any single moment, even if they try. Now we gave this example. Gopis making a big effort to forget Krishna, but not being able to do that. Ananya, they're really one-pointed. There's no second alternative in their lives. So these 4 qualities, smile, glance, pastimes, conversations, all are dhyana mangalam, say the verse, are auspicious to meditate upon. Anya hridisprisa, they touch, they move the heart. And also it's explained by Sanatana Goswami that each one is successively superior in terms of agitation than the previous one. So the topmost one will be the last one. Rahasi Sambhito, intimate, confidential, direct talk. But again, the conclusion over and over again when the gopis are calling Krishna, we are agitated because of this, because you are not here with us now. So cheater, appear before us. Again, that's the conclusion of the 10th verse. So a brief summary of 10th verse yesterday. Now let's go to the 11th one, the verse, today's shloka. So I will share that in the chat section. There you have it. So I will recite it in Sanskrit. And the ones who like can join, of course. Chalasi adbraja charayam pashum nalina sundaram nathati padam shilatrinan kurai shidati tina kalilatan mana kanta ghachati. So translation says, dear master, dear lover, when you leave the cowherd village to herd the cows, our minds are disturbed with the thought that your feet, more beautiful than a lotus, will be pricked by the spiked husks of grain and the rough grass and plants. So here we have a second of this group of 3 verses where the gopis are explaining why they cannot survive only with Harikatha, why they need to see again Krishna, in this case at his lotus feet, and how they are suffering from many angles of view in their minds by thinking this particular case, the potential possible pain that Krishna's lotus foot souls may be experiencing while wandering in the forest, while herding the cows. So here the gopis say, Chalasi yad brayat charayam pasum. Chalasi means when you go. Yat means when. Chalasi yat, when you go means chalasi. When you go, brajat means from the cowherd village. Charayam pasum. Pasum means animal. In this case will apply to the cows. And charayan means herding. So when you are leaving the cowherd village to herd the cows, when you are entering deep into the forest, basically with the cows, Nalila Sundaram Natate Padam. They focus now their attention lotus feet of Krishna. They say Natate Padam. Padam means feet. Te means yours, your feet. Nata, referred to Krishna as Nata, means, oh Lord. At least that's the general official meaning. We will go in a while into the other possibilities. So Nalina Sundaram, your feet, oh Lord, which is Nalina Sundaram. Nalina means lotus, than a lotus in this case, and Sundaram means beautiful. So your feet, which are more beautiful than a lotus, which are much more soft, so much more aesthetic, much more fragrant, much more everything. That a lotus, much more cooling. Again, like one over and over again, we will see the analogy of the lotus being presented by the gopis in different verses, because again they are dying in the fire, blazing fire, forest fire of separation, Bihar Agni, Viraha Agni. So when there is fire, you need something to put off the fire, some cooling effect. So the lotus are a big representation of something that is cool. So they refer to Krishna's angas or limbs as lotus limbs, cooling. If those feet appear before us, they will have a cooling effect in our fire-like hearts. So when you go out to the pastures with the cows, your lotus feet, your feet which are again more beautiful than a lotus, Nalina Sundaram Natati Padam, oh Lord, what's happened with that? Sila Trinankurai, Sila Titina. Shila refers in this case to the sharp edge of grain that may be in the forest. Trina, you know what does it mean? Trinadapi Sunichena. Trina means grass. Ankurai means ankur. Ankur is like a sprout. Like when you say premankur, bhavankur, it's like sprout. Sprouting plants in the forest. That's the point here. Sila Trinankurai Sida Titina. Na means us, the gopis. Sida Titi. Sida Ti means experiencing pain. And Iti means thus. Thus means by thinking. You have to understand how Sanskrit works. They will say thus. What does thus imply? By thinking that your sweet, soft lotus feet may be in touch with these different elements of the forest, grass, sprouting plants, sharp edge. By thinking of that, Kalila Tammana Kanta Gachati. O lover, Kanta, O Kanta, O beloved. Kalilatam mana means minds. So our minds, gachati means feel, in this case, attain. Kalilatam. Kalilatam means discomfort. So our minds attain discomfort. We feel pretty much distressed, disturbed with the very thought that of the possibility that your soft lotus feet, which are actually more beautiful than the lotus, poets will beg forgiveness because of using such a poor analogy, that's the best thing they have to compare with in this world. So, but just by the thought, the possibility of Krishna's feet being touched, harmed by these elements of the force, the gopis' minds are experiencing great disturbance. So you try to get the point, no? Because we can ask ourselves, what's the things that make us feel great disturbance, in connection to who, to what, in which context, and now from there going to the gopi situation and what's the cause of their disturbance. It's totally centered in Krishna, totally based on self-forgetfulness, and totally extreme, because again, they are experiencing disturbance by something that actually is not happening, as we will see, but about the possible hypothetical situation that may be happening. So that speaks about a very high degree of Mahabhav, actually. Rupa Goswami explains that in Ujjwal Nilamani. When the beloved is so much consumed by absorption and love in the object of her affection, the person will express this type of concerns, even though it's not happening. But their mind is so much absorbed, obsessed. In this case, in a transcendental way, of course. We are not speaking about here about some emotional dysfunctional expression, but something proper to transcendence. So let's try to expand a little bit on the meaning of this verse and how on the experience of the gopis and the background to this particular word. So Guru Maharaj, in his aesthetic Vedanta, he says some very nice words in this connection. He speaks how Krishna roams the forest at daybreak. This Urbana Lila mid-morning, he's going with his friends and the cows, starting at egg 24, basically. No, 40 eggs, sorry, till 3:36. We already spoke about the Madhyan Lila is that. But before that, he's living already, well, many Lilas there. So he's herding cows with his friends. So while he's doing that, the point is he's not wearing shoes. That's a very important point in this verse. Because, of course, if Krishna will be wearing sandals or whatever, the words of the gopis will make no sense, or even less sense. But he's going barefoot. The Guru Maharaj mentioned, more certainly he does not wear shoes, and more certainly he does not wear shoes made from the hide of those he loves so dearly, his cows. Generally, most shoes in this world, or at least at that time in the world, were made by cow skin, leather. And he said, more certainly he does not wear shoes made from, he's connected to them. I mean, not only he's not wearing shoes made from them, but on the opposite side, he's made from them. They are part of his own constitution and existence, because Krishna's cows are loving Krishna like a mother, basically, love his son. That's the whole situation with the cows, Vatsalya Bhav. It is said that the cows are in Vatsalya, in Golok. That's why in the Brahma Vimohan Lila, one of the main, as we explained in the third verse, when Brahma kidnapped, or so-called kidnapped, the cowherd boys and the calves, actually Krishna arranged all this, orchestrated that, allowed this to happen, mainly because he knew many mothers, many elder ladies in Braj want to have me as their son. Many cows also want that, to have me as their calf, basically. That's their Vatsalya projected on me. So I will give them that opportunity, that experience. So as you know, Krishna expanded himself into all the boys and calves for a year, earthly year, thus giving, in this case, this particular case, the cows, the idea of fully relating to him with maternal love, cow maternal love, in the context of this Vatsalya. So that's why it is said that the cows are always eager to offer their milk to Krishna. That's their affection, as Guru Maharaj will say. Milk is translated as affection, and Krishna generally is also depicted in some of his forms as living in an ocean of milk, in a Svetadvip, in an island, white island surrounded by milk. Golok in a planet of cows. He's surrounded by affection. That's the point. He's surrounded by givers. So we should become one of them if we want to receive our visa someday. So the point is, when Krishna is going to herd the cows, he's doing that barefoot. He's not wearing shoes, he's not wearing sandals, he's not wearing boots, as the cowboys on the US, on this part of the world. So they have another idea of what does it mean to be a cowboy. That Krishna is a real cowboy, and the real cowboy goes barefoot to herd the cows. Because that's the tradition, basically. And Krishna follows tradition. Krishna establishes tradition, but he follows traditions as well. He's the prince of the cowherders, so he has to follow proper maryad, proper etiquette. There's maryad in every field of existence. If you're a cowherd, if you're a Vaishya, if you're a Brahmin, whatever, what you are, you have to behave in a certain way. So cowherds are expected to go barefoot. It's part of their nature, the connection, the natural immediate connection with the environment. So when Krishna is leaving his house in the morning, the point is, of course, the gopis are expressing here this, but now we are speaking a little bit about motherly love from the cows. I'm going to speak Jashoda Mai. Jashoda Mai herself expressed this concern every single day, a similar concern to that of the gopis expressed in this verse regarding the tender souls of Krishna's lotus feet. As you know, every single day Krishna is leaving the forest, and there's a whole event before Krishna is leaving. Yashoda is taking him not only with the feet, but from tip to toe. Yashoda is like calling all Krishna's friends, taking you, Sridham, protect Krishna in this cardinal point, you, Subha, protect him here, you, Madhumanga, all the directions I want my Krishna to be, my Lal to be totally protected. And she starts to recite different kavachas, Nrsimha kavacha, and make nyasa and touch different points in the body of Krishna to invoke different names of God so he can be protected in his wandering in the forest. And when she arrived finally at the feet, there's a whole debate there. No? You should wear sandals, and Krishna, no, I shouldn't wear sandals. I'm the son of the cowherd. Actually, the whole point of Yashoda is, why are you going to the forest with the cows? You should stay at home all day long. That's her psychology. My baby, stay with me always. And Krishna say, I'm already a cowherd. I have to go out. That's the tradition. But you are the son of the king. You can stay home. No. There are other sons of king. The son of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, he's also Sridham staying there. He's going, to do cow herding. So if he's doing that, I should do that. So eventually, but you should take at least some padukas, some sandals. Tradition is not that one. Cows are going barefoot. I'm going barefoot. We're equal. This is the pranay, love of equals. So in this way, this is the unfolding that comes there at every single, and eventually the friends of Krishna calling Krishna, is getting late, come on, and Krishna himself wants to leave by Yashoda. One moment she goes and embraces him, starts to kiss him and put some extra sweets there. Krishna starts to leave, and Yashoda seems that she goes back home, but she looks back again and goes running and embraces Krishna again. This happens so many times till eventually Krishna goes to the forest, and Yashoda is thrown in an ocean of separation, maternal separation, till Goduli, until the moment that Krishna will return with his friends and the cows, the cow dust moment of the day, where the hooves of the cows are making the dust race, and there Rashoda is just absorbed in the horizon, waiting for her lal to appear, and that dust is giving the signal he's coming. And also, in this context, where Yashoda may show some concern regarding Krishna's tender feet, Krishna will reply from different angles. Krishna is very expert in this connection. So he will say, Ma, you don't know the forest path. You don't have idea how it feels, and how the whole creatures and the whole environment is, if you will, conspiring in favor of me, in favor of us. Now, I feel not trouble at all tending the cows, being barefoot. Actually, it's my greatest pleasure, Krishna is saying to Yashoda. And he makes it clear to her, the paths are not giving me any pain at all, for different reasons, apart from the ones we mentioned. For example, there is one deer called chamari deer. which from there we can have the word chamara. No, the chamara is the one that we use in Arctic. So he said the chamari, they're sweeping the path with their tails. This clean the path from any possible sprouts or whatever. And the trees are showing the path with their honey. So this is a very little bit sticky, but very sweet way of walking there. There's another deer called Navi deer. It says that it's has given scenting the path with their navel musk. So all these paths, Krishna is saying to Yashoda, are perfect, flawless, and they're soft as cotton. So it's like sense enjoyment to me to walk there barefoot, actually. And it is said also in connection to Govardhan, which is one of the destinies. Daily they go. There are some stones and pebbles in Govardhan. You can imagine Govardhan is a hill, and there are rocks and small rocks and so on. But Govardhan is Haridasa Varya, as the Bhagavad itself presents. Haridasa Varya means the best of Hari's servants. Haridas means servants of Hari, and Bharya means the topmost. So it is said that this is not mentioned here. The neighbor hills nearby Govardhan are mentioned because it is said that under Krishna's lotus feet, all of them fell like butter. They melt when Krishna is walking there. Another reason also, something that is mentioned sometimes, the cows themselves with their hooves, they're reducing everything to like sand, like dust. So however you may like to conceive it, the point is there is no real reason for Yashoda to be in anxiety, and in this case for the gopis to be suffering in their minds because of the possibility of Krishna's pain. But however, as we can say here, the gopis are concerned that Krishna may wander from the path, certain path, and enter into some rough terrain, and then he may hurt his tender feet. So again, they are not materially dysfunctional in an emotional sense, and the gopis' concern is not also, Guru Maharaj will say, their concern is for Krishna's potential pain. It's not a philosophical concern. Gopis do not have if you will, a head for philosophical considerations, even though they are beyond that. If they will like, they can do that, and when they appear in Gaur Lila, they show real dexterity for philosophy. But here in the dynamics of Braja Lila, knowledge is an obstacle. The Ishwarya of knowledge will be just buried by layers and layers of intimacy. So the gopis' concern for Krishna's potential pain is not philosophical. Guru Maharaj will say it is the way of passionate love. When you love someone passionately, you will be moved in those directions. Even though you may, philosophically speaking, you may conclude something else. Guru Maharaj sometimes may say, yes, I know, but I feel something else. So this happens in this world, and this happens in the other world for its own reasons. The gopis here are exhibiting the way of love, the way of passionate love, raga marga, ragatmika. They are ragatmikas. They are constituted, at least a part of them. Some of them are sadhana siddhas, some of them are nitya siddhas. But the ones who are nitya siddhas, they are ragatmikas, which means the whole being, atma, the whole body, mind, spirit, which is all of them one thing, if you will. They're all of this made of raga atmika. So the whole constitution, tip to toe, is made of raga, passionate love, eager affection towards Krishna. Every atom of their being is vibrating in that direction. So the gopis are in that part, and again, we cannot fully understand that till we are not imbibing ourselves in this particular substance. So here we are having a glimpse of that. And here the gopis, so the gopis feel pain. Even, here the gopis are speaking about some of the feet. So even if just one of Krishna's feet gets hurt, that gives pain to the gopis. Now, what to speak of both of them? And not even 1 feet for the gopis, 1 finger, 1 feet, the smaller one, 1 nail of that smallest finger, 1 atom inside that nail. they are ready to give their lives millions and millions of times. They are ready to offer millions of their lifetimes. Sometimes the charts express in this way. Their disposition is to offer millions of their lives for the pleasure of one atom in Krishna's body. It may seem like exaggerate or extreme, but that's the disposition. If that will be possible, they are ready for that. As we know, the famous story, Krishna's headache, which actually it was not there. There was no headache actually, but the gopis were willing to go to eternal hell, if you will, to throw their life for eternity, just for 1 minute, 1 millisecond of relief of whatever Krishna may be experiencing. So that's the disposition. And of course, that is what speaks about them, about their glorious attainment, about how they will never go to hell, of course. But that's the disposition, offer our lifetimes over and over again in the substantial way, of course, no? Because we can interpret this in terms of, okay, I will suicide myself many times and I'm offering my life to Krishna. That's not the idea. That's what Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami when he knew Sanatana wants to throw his body down the cart of Jagannath in Rath Yatra because he had some sickness in his body, and Mahaprabhu was embracing him, and all these things were oozing there, and he was so sad. Say, my body is abominable. I will kill it. I'm committing offense against my Prabhu. So Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, he knew this, and he called Sanatana and said, "You don't ever think about throwing yourself about the wrath cart, because this body of yours," of course, he made many interesting points there. This body of yours is chinmaya, transcendental, even if it seems mundane, abominable. I have many plans to do through that body. Many plans in my mind will be executed through you and through your body, transcendental one. And actually, Krishna is testing me by putting yourself in my life in this condition. So to see if I am substantial enough or not. And eventually he said, and actually, Sanatan, if Krishna could be achieved by suicide, who will not be willing to throw one's life millions of times for his pleasure? But of course, he said, that's not the method. Sadhana is not suicide. If that will be the method, Mahaprabhu said, me, myself, I will throw myself under the cart millions of times. So actually, the giving of our life is in the context of surrender. It's not a physical death, but ego death, die to live. So the gopis are willing to die so many times to live more and more in Krishna's service. There's no end to how much alive you can be in your service to Krishna, your presentation to Krishna. So in order to reach the next level of life, you have to attain the next level of death. There's a corresponding death to each level of new life that you need to attain. So in Bhakti, we are constantly trying to progress. And make progress means to leave something inferior and to embrace something higher. So that means a type of death, a type of life, a type of death, a type of life. And not only as sadhakas, when you reach eternity, dedication is still growing even much more, because there's no limit to that. There are no obstacles. Prem is flowing with such a force, such a strength, that at every single moment, blinking, breathing, you are reaching new heights of being alive in service to Krishna, and you have to go through different heights of death, even though there's no longer ego there. So you have not to die to any false ego, but again, you have to die to a certain level of attainment and attain a new one, even in a transcendental sense. So that's the total disposition here. Also, there is, apart from this general meaning of the verse, there is another possible meaning, more connected to the left wing gopis. So here, generally, we are seeing the two possibilities in each of these verses. So the left wing gopis, Bhamya Bhav, led by Radha and others, they actually will mention all these things with another intention. They will imply, well, actually, you are not only giving pain to others, to us, but you are giving pain to yourself as well. And because of this, we become full of sorrow. So the main point is, we are not suffering for us in a separate way. We are suffering because you know you are suffering. That's the projection. but the point, the sarcasm here is the gopis are saying, they're implying, you, Krishna, has such a strong desire to give us pain, the gopis are saying, that you give yourself pain, knowing how we will feel about that. So with this loving sarcasm, left-wing gopis are throwing this type of sharp words to Krishna, sharp ideas. No? Since it seems that you want us to see suffer because you are not appearing. All this is in connection that too, you are not appearing. We are suffering because you are not here. So it seems that you are not appearing. It seems you want to give us suffering, not only by not appearing, but by wandering in the forest barefoot, causing yourself pain to yourself. So we experience pain, and you enjoy with our pain, in that particular psychology. So the gopis are implying this here. These stones, these sharp grasses, these sprouts, all these may penetrate your feet, for sure, but they do not penetrate your heart, the gopis are saying. But they penetrate our hearts. We are soft-hearted. Our hearts are being pierced by this idea. Your heart is hard as a thunderbolt, as a rock, it seems. And even if your feet are being pierced by this, different sharp stones and so on, you tolerate that. You have the capacity, you are hard-hearted, but we are dying because of that idea. We are feeling pain. Why also? And they use two names here, two addressings to Krishna, Nata and Kanta. So they say, you are our Nat and you are our Kanta. Kanta means lover. Of course, not only lover, because you can use the word Kanta in the mundane context, and we are not here there. So it's much more than just lover. Super type of lover, because of the super type of love from the gopis. And Nat generally refers to a beloved also in certain contexts, but also Nat can mean giver of pain. So the possibility of Nat here is in that connection also. Gopis are saying to Krishna, you are giving us pain. By giving you yourself pain, you do that so we have pain. In his Brihad Vaishnav Toshani, Sanatana Goswami, in connection to Nata, also connects. He said Natha, which also sometimes means Lord. No, Lord, you say Jagannath, Mathuranath, and so on. Jagannath, Gopinath, Nath means Lord, Master. So Sanatana Goswami gives his own perspective, and he says Natha means here Brajeshwar. Brajeshwar means, like in this case, it can be a name for Krishna. Generally, it's a name for Nanda Maharaj, which means the king of Braj, the Ishwar of Braj. But also Brajeshwar can apply to Krishna in this context, meaning the prince of Braj. He's not the king. The king is his father, but he's the prince. So he will be the king by inheritance, the logic of inheritance. So Nata means Brajeshwar, or prince of Braj. So the gopis, by calling Krishna Nata, means also imply, you are the prince. You are the protector of your townspeople. So it's improper for you to neglect us. Again, you are not appearing. You are not giving us your darshan. You are the prince. You should take care of you should follow the example of Sri Ramachandra. Sometimes, as you know, the Shvarya will come in the gopis and they will say, in other words, you were born as Ramachandra, so you should give proper example like he did it as an ideal king, appear before us. They are not saying that here directly, overtly, but implication can be there as well. Because we have seen how in the Gopi Gita this Aishwarya comes to the fore in different moments. You are Paramatma, you are Bhagavan, whatever, so many things. So you should be a good prince in taking care of your townspeople. And how to take care of us? Appear so we can take care of you. That's the loving implication of the gopis. And Kanta, Sanatana Goswami also mentions, the vocative Kanta means, oh beloved, beloved in a special way. And which is the special way? The gopis imply with Kanta, only our lotus hands should touch your lotus feet. Because your feet are like lotus, very soft, very delicate. So they should be handled in a very soft way also, with something similar in nature. So your lotus, your feet are like lotus, our hands are like lotus as well. So your lotus feet should only be touched by our lotus hands. And these two vocatives, Kanta and Nata, Sanatana Goswami mentions, are the special reason why the gopis' minds are in disarray, because of the implications of these two words as we have been explaining here. According to other commentators also, for example, Srinath Pandit, he mentions interestingly when the gopis say to Krishna, Charayam Pashum, you are taking the animals to the forest. Again, from a very sarcastic, angry way, lovingly angry way, the gopis are saying, you are just a keeper of animals because you don't understand that our minds are in disarray. You are not being empathic enough with our own experience. You're just a gross horse worker, if you will. They're just working with animals, and that doesn't require too much sensibility to understand a lady's heart. So the gopis also imply this by invoking this idea of Krishna taking the cows to pastures. And if we go for a minute to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarartha Darshini, as we know, there are always very unique contributions there. And in this particular case, he will present a dialogue between not Krishna and the gopis that he had done in some other verses, but between the gopis and the gopis' own minds. So everything is personified in Golok, even the person and the person minds, if you will. So the gopis will have a dialogue, a conversation, a debate, if you will, with their own minds. And all this he presents in the context of the word Kalilatam in this verse. Kalilatam, which means translated discomfort. So their minds of the gopis are experiencing discomfort by the idea of possibly Krishna having been hurt. But Vishwanath says Kalilatam, or discomfort, refers to the quarrel between the gopis and their minds, with the gopis on one side and their heart and minds on the other. So he will, with this introduction, will present the dialogue. So he say, as he was mentioned earlier, the gopis told their mind, why are you so restless, agitated, and anxious when Krishna goes to herd the cows? There is no reason for your restlessness. What is the use of being so disturbed? What have we said the other day? Let's stop thinking about Krishna mind. Stop thinking about him. I will make a sacrifice to stop meditating about Krishna if possible. So the gopis here are saying that to the mind. Why are you so restless? No reason for that. So the mind will reply, according to Vishwanath, to the gopis. You are not at all rasika. You do not possess even a drop of rasa. O gopis, due to your ignorance, you are devoid of feeling. Krishna will go to the forest, and I want him to go, but I don't want him to experience any kind of difficulty. He should play in the forest, but he should not suffer. So the gopis will say to the mind, then why are you so anxious? Because remember, the minds are suffering. So the mind will say, I'm anxious because he follows behind the cows. Those cows wander to places that are filled with sharp grass shoots, edges, and dry grains, chips of stone, and other things that may hurt him, will hurt him, actually. So to this, the gopis will reply to their minds, you are simply blinded by prem, O mind. This is not true at all, gopis will say. Krishna has eyes, so he can see where it is safe to walk, and he will only place his feet where the grass is silky, the sand is soft. He will do that, the gopis are saying to the mind. So be quiet, please. And the mind will reply, oh gopis, you think like this because you are neither intelligent nor rasika. Cows have no wisdom or discrimination, so they will not remain on flat paths. The cows will move away, and Krishna will have to follow them in order to bring them back to the path. And there's the risk for him to walk on different sharp edges and so on. So the gopis will reply to their minds, yes, we agree. Basically, the gopis accept defeat in front of their mind. Yes, we agree that Krishna will go to those places because we know the cows will go there. So they conclude, well, it seems that the creator, sometimes this is connected to Brahma, the architect of this world, it seems that the creator, the providence, has created us to suffer. So we are suffering. So as I told you before, they are, at the end of the day, they put all the load all the baggage on their backs. They are not blaming anyone. Even if they say the creator wants this, they accept their destiny. The GOPI says, well, so it seems that providence has created us to suffer. We are made to suffer, and that's why we are experiencing this. And finally, the mind will say to the gopis, according to Vishwanath, yeah, it is all right for you to stay here and suffer. The mind is saying, if you want to stay here and suffer, okay, but me, the mind, I will not stay here. I'm going to leave your body along with your life heirs. I must leave. You should stay here and suffer alone. So basically the mind is saying, I'm living with the life heirs. Basically say, you are dying, gopis, goodbye. So that's a unique, charming way as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is presenting the dilemma, the psychological dilemma of the gopis. So regarding to this, to the suffering of the gopis, some few words before finishing. Regarding the suffering of the gopis, actually the suffering has to do with attachment to Krishna. They will say that to Krishna. They are saying this in between the lines to him. Our attachment for you is the root of all sorrow, actually. Because if we won't be attached, I mean, we won't care, basically, whatever you may like to do. So, but we are attached. So that's the root of all sorrow. And at the same time, the Gopi says it's our natural tendency. I mentioned it. They are ragatmika. They are made of rag. Rag means also attachment. So their whole constitution is attachment. So they cannot go against their own selves, their own constitution, their own Jaiva Dharma. They're made of attachment for Krishna. They are personifications of different types of attachment to him. And the gopis' words are perfectly true. Attachment is the root cause of all sorrow. We know that also here. Of course, they say that from an aprakrit perspective. It seems mundane, but it's super transcendental. But this is the idea. Bhoga Ishvarya Prashaktanam Tayat Paharita Chetasam Sam Vyavyasa Yatmika Buddhi Samadhana Vidhiyate. Krishna says in the Gita, for those who are attached to Bhoga, Aishwarya, their minds are not one-pointed, and Samadhana Vidhiyate. Samadhi is not possible. So now the gopis who are showing the topmost level of samadhi, they are lamenting because of their attachment, but it's a particular type of lamentation, first, and second, a particular type of attachment. So we should be very careful not to project our own experience in this direction. But it's true, it is only because of attachment that one feels sorrow and pain. If you suffer, if someone crashed your car, you will suffer, not because of the objective fact that the car was crashed, but because it was yours. The word you, mine, as Gurmas will say, small world, big problem. Aham mameti. When you attach to the idea of I, the idea of mine, that will determine the direction of your attachment, the direction of your lamentation, the direction of your emotional range. So if your sense of I is attached to a sense of mine in the context of selfishness and material acquisition, well, you know what you have as a result. Now, if your sense of I is attached to a sense of my in connection to Krishna, mamata, you develop possessiveness in relation to God, seeing him as my friend, my beloved, my something. There will be some lamentation and attachment, but in the context of ecstasy. So that's what the gopis are showing here. But the principle is the same. The point is, where are you directing attachment? So again, Prabhupada will say, this is the science of attachment, not detachment. We are concerned about attachment to Krishna. Vairagya, as we always say, Vairagya means Vishesh Anurag. Vairag. Rag comes from Anurag, which is attachment, eagerness, and Vai comes from Vishesh, a very special type of. So Vairagya generally translated as detachment, but actually means a very unique form of attachment. That as a byproduct will create detachment. So our main concern is how to acquire a particular type of rag. We are in the raga marg. Even though we are not fully driven by rag yet, we are not driven by taste in our daily affairs generally, mostly at least. So we need to follow certain rules, prescriptions, that's in place. Ajata Ruchi Raga Bhakti. We need to do that in the context of awakening proper passionate love, if you will, in one direction or the other. So the gopis are presenting their plight, their case. And because of attachment, we are suffering. Our attachment for you is the guilty party here. So the gopis lament to themselves, we should know, we know we should have no love. We should have no love for you, actually, ideally, in order not to suffer, to express that in the context of their love. We should have no affection for you. But the fact is that we do have it. We are fully attached from tip to toe to you. So what shall we do? I mean, we have been thrown into a pool of attachment. So our earnest prayer, basically, because is that please remove this attachment from our heart, because that's creating our condition of suffering. Of course, we know indirect speech is here. The gopis are not saying remove the attachment from our heart so we forget you, we don't love you anymore, and we are happy without suffering. Actually, they are saying appear before us. That will remove the suffering, actually. But that's the way of love, the way of romantic love, and how you express things in a roundabout way, if you will. So the gopis say this, and Krishna even may retort to them. It is your mind, it is your heart. You can cut it yourself. That's a guilty party. Do your part. As the Bible say, no, how do you say? God helps the one who help themselves. So Krishna, God, he's saying here to the gopis, help yourself and I will help you. So cut, it's your mind. The attachment is in your mind. So you can do that part. Make sadhana, make effort to obtain grace. But Krishna said, I'm not responsible for your mind and heart. So do not project that responsibility on me. But the gopis will reply, all this is implied meaning in this very verse. Remember, we are unpacking this verse according to the insights of our acharyas. So the gopis will reply to such a retort from Krishna. Actually, our attachment to you is not our fault. It is your fault because you are our beloved and you are so astonishingly attractive. So it's in your fault. You are so beautiful. That's your nature. May be responsible for that. No, gopis will say that. If you are not so affectionate, if you are not so attractive, so charming, we will have no love for you and everything will be all right. But the fact that we have so much attachment and so much love is because you are so charming and you have shared with us so many charming moments, as we mentioned in the previous verse. Your glance, your smile, your pastime with us, your intimate talks. So all those deep expressions of love coming from such an attractive source. And what can we do with our minds? It's natural that we are mad now after that. So you have made yourself so beautiful. That's your fault. You have made yourself such a charming Dira Lalita Nayaka, such a charming hero, such a charming lover, Kanta. So you made yourself in such a way that now our minds have left us and gone to you. We are insane we have not our minds here. So why you have done that? It's your responsibility. And you alone can remove that attachment. That's the point. Because you are now in possession of our mind, of our heart. We do not belong to ourselves. You have taken full possession of us. We are fully possessed by your beauty, the gopis imply. So if you want to please us, the conclusion of the verse, going back to the idea of the verse, if you want to please us, do not roam in the forest. And the idea of do not roam in the forest barefoot, what's the implication? Come and stay with us. That's the remedy. That's the whole thing. Stop wandering in the woods. That's the conclusion of the verse. And come quickly here. So we see how the gopis, of course, they're showing some pain because of what may happen to Krishna's feet. But all that is in the context of stop doing that. And instead of that, what? Return from the woods and quickly come here. Appear before us. Appear before us. That's the conclusion of every single verse of this Gopi Gita. So in this very charming way, we finished the explanation of this 11th verse of Sri Gopi Gita. So I don't know if there are any questions.
Maharaj, I have a question.
Yes.
In the Leelas, so like in Vraja Leela, is there an element of the different Vasis, or the different categories of devotees being aware of the separation being felt by the others? So you were just saying that the gopis are saying, no, don't wander through the woods, just come stay with us. And I understand there's no selfishness there, but I'm just wondering if that element is there and how maybe that's manifest.
Let me see if I understood again. Would you want to know if the devotees who are feeling separation from Krishna are aware of how other devotees are feeling separation from Krishna?
Yeah, even if they're not necessarily feeling separation at that time. So like the sakas are all out with Krishna playing. So do they have any awareness of the feelings of separation of the Vatsalya Bhaktas, of the Madhurya Bhaktas? See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's depending of every case. Now, for example, you say the sakas are with Krishna playing, but we know that there are different groups of sakas. So we have, for example, Priyanarma sakas. They are aware of Krishna's romantic life. So being aware of Krishna's romantic life means they are aware of the gopis' feelings towards Krishna as well as Krishna's feelings towards them. Of course, they are not only aware of Krishna's romanticism towards the gopis, but of gopis' romanticism towards Krishna. And that being aware of that implies being aware of the different emotional expressions of that in union, in separation. Of course, it's to a certain level in the context of their love. But my point is, Priyanarma Sakhis are aware in the context of their love of the gopi separation, and actually they are helping to put that away by helping to create a union between gopis and Krishna. Other types of friends who are not aware of Krishna's romantic life, sakas, suhrit sakas, priya sakas, they don't have a mind for that, if you will. Their constitution is in another direction. So of course they won't be aware of that because they do not know that there is romantic affairs between Radha and Krishna, for example. So they are not feeling, oh, Radha is suffering so much for Krishna, because their psychology is not pointing in that direction. They are fully absorbed in another direction, which is perfect to their particular situation. So that's one example. Of course, we could say in another case, all of the friends of Krishna will be aware of the suffering of Yashoda, because that's evident by the very moment they are living, as we mentioned today. When they are living with Krishna, they are seeing Yashoda crying, shedding tears, experiencing separation. But of course, it doesn't mean that they're fully aware of what she's feeling totally in her heart, as a Vatsalya Bhakta may be. A Vatsalya Bhakta who is serving in the wake of Yashoda's love will be much more capable of relating to Yashoda's experience that a Saka who will be immersed in playing with Krishna in the woods. Meanwhile, Yashoda is suffering at home, and some Vatsalya Bhaktas are full empathizing with that, and the friends know about that on a level, on a degree, but at the same time, on another level, they are fully absorbing the direction. So it will depend on every devotee and their particular psychology, how much they will be aware of each other's suffering and separation. Again, in a general way, they know about the suffering of others, like gopis will know about Yashoda separation, gopas will know about Yashoda separation, Yashoda will know about, I don't know, the friends gopa separation from Krishna when they are not together for some moments. On certain levels, to certain degrees related to their particular love and psychology. Every love has a type of psychology, and that creates a particular level of awareness of the degrees and of the nuanced expression of that. But again, in cases as Madhurya Bhav, we know that not all of the Braj is aware of that. Right. So that some of them will know, some will suspect, Someone will want to confirm that. Some Jatila will want to cock them, but it never happens. It seems that it will happen, and it never happens. No, Jatila is suspecting. Radha is engaging in betrayal towards Abhimanyu. She's meeting with Krishna, but she tries to, and never, every time she tries to, it always turns like the opposite, singing the glories of Krishna. Radha is very chaste and pure. So those are the dynamics in the Braj, in the Lila, no? So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I think I was approaching it. The error in my thinking was because we easily think of things in an objective sense. Okay, so now we're looking at it and not feeling it, but they're not thinking objectively. They're totally absorbed in their psychology.
Yeah, which is, there's a whole topic of it speaking about objectivity and subjectivity, but yeah, they are absorbing transcendental subjectivity. You know, in this world, we are expected to be objective on a degree, so we are not fully rational and emotional and sentimental, but at the same time, there is a subjective side to all of us. So when subjectivity is expressed in the context of objectivity, if you will, that's the best thing. You know, like if you say a person who has no control of his own mind and senses cannot be objective because it's being driven by these urges. But if someone is fully in control of those senses, the subjectivity that will come from that will be really appreciated, if you will. So the gopis are, or the Brajavasis, the transcendental figures, will be this case. They are totally objective in the sense all the selfishness and all these urges are full in control, but on top of that, it seems they are out of control in an ocean of subjectivity. But very different to the one we are experiencing as conditioned souls. So that's very important to understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Something else?
Hare Krishna, Swami. I have one wondering. This is Haricharan Das again.
Ah, from Sweden, yeah. Tell me.
Yes, from Sweden, yes. When you were talking about the calves and the cows, I was wondering about the bulls, because surely there are bulls in Vrindavan. I'm wondering about the bulls' relationship to Sri Krishna.
But what you were wondering about?
Oh, so they also have like a Vatsalya rasa.
Oh, okay.
or like this.
Yeah, of course, bulls are there, and bulls also share some Vatsalya, but of course in the context of paternal love, if you will, no? Because cows are ladies and bulls are gentlemen, no? So, but Vatsalya means the two of them, no? When you speak about Yashoda, she has Vatsalya, but when you speak about Nanda Maharaj, he has Vatsalya. It's not like female, male Vatsalya. All of them are in the context of paternal and maternal love. So bulls fall in that category. As the cows express this maternal Vatsalya, the bulls will express the complementary paternal cow expression of that.
And the calves, and can there be mixtures? Like there is with the cows, there is mixture between Dasya rasa, and also with the calves, what are their rasa?
The cows.
The calves.
The cows are in Vatsalya rasa. We mentioned that today.
No, sorry, Swami. I meant the young cows, the calves.
Ah, the calves.
Yes.
The calves. Okay. Well, I never wondered about which rasa the calves are, to be honest with you. Never heard nor read about that. But I don't want to speculate. I don't know if any of you have heard about this. We have to enter into this calf psychology in this moment. But I mean, naturally comes to my mind the idea that they are inheriting their DNA from their parents. So some Vatsalya will be there, but who knows? No? Maybe it's something more from equals, since the calf is not like the cow is not giving milk yet, and so on. So we should do some further research in that connection.
Yes, I will keep this question with me.
Yeah, help me with the research as well. All of you, please, so we can solve this today's mystery. Okay, something else? Okay, I think we can finish here. So today is our last meeting of this week. So we will see each other regarding this GOPI GITA series next Monday, where we will be studying in verse number 12, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, verse number 12. So thank you very much. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Maharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Gopi Gita ki jai, Gaur Radha Madhav ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Bo, Kalpataru Vyashagripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavane Devyo Namo Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Hari Bo.
Hari Bol.